If you are a Muhammadan and you like to join us, please feel free, just text me in Skype and tell me, what do you think about this disaster Muhammad Hijab he just did? He just asked us to read scholars which agree with us. He was trying to defend the Quran, but he himself, he chosen Muslim scholars who they agree with the enemies of Islam. He claimed that those views are the views of the phobia people. You will find those claims in anti-Islamic website. And he asked us to read what scholars they say. And he chosen names for us. Understanding the hadith of date and poison. Let us see what this one's saying. Sound interesting. I like medical.
All over the anti-Islamic apologetics type websites.
Notice only anti-Islamic website they have their question. Muslim they have no questions, because who dare to ask questions? They will chop his head. Anti-Islamic website. Okay, tell us, Hijab.
And it's in their publications and their videos online, which is a hadith which says that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man tasabbaha bisab'a tamarat ajwa la yadurruhu summun wala sihr." That whoever wakes up and consumes 7 dates of ajwa kind, that poison will not afflict him, and sihr, which is magic, will not afflict him. And they say this is an unscientific type of hadith, because they say, how could it be the case when the chemical agents or properties within the dates, there's nothing within them that would indicate to us from a scientific perspective that they could be immunizing to things as chemically destructive as poison. So how can you understand this hadith? And doesn't this hadith fly in the face of 21st century scientific discovery? Now, first, in order to answer this question, let's take a look at what some of the commentators of this hadith of all time have mentioned. So, for example, Al-Khattabi, who is a scholar of the 4th century, died 388 AH, he says actually it's not because of a specific property within the date. He says there's nothing within the date that actually has that immunizing capacity. He says, "La li khasiyya fi tamr." It's not because of a specific characteristic or attribute in the date. وَإِنَّمَا is because of the da'wah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the blessings of the da'wah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And many of the scholars have looked at this hadith in this kind of way. Ibn al-Qayyim said, no, it's for a special time and a special place, and it's not applicable to us. Al-Qurtubi said it can only be seen to be applicable to us if it goes through the experimental method and succeeds, in the sense that we can actually prove that the dates are in fact immunizing to poison. And this shows us that the commentators of hadith had a very sober approach to science and hadith, and science and Quran. They understood that sometimes these are two separate areas of jurisdiction, if you like, and sometimes they have an overlap. Now, before we continue with this hadith, the opinion of Al-Khattabi, which says it's not a specific property in the date, seems to be well represented if we look at other hadiths, because there's another hadith which the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us in the what you call the evening supplications of Athkar al-Masa, which we should all be making, by the way, Athkar al-Sabah wal-Masa, beautiful supplications we should be making in the morning and the evening that will cause protection for us and so on. One of these words of protection is أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. That I seek refuge with the perfect words of God from the evil from which He created. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said about this, he said, whoever says this, لم يضره شيء. He said that whoever says this, nothing will afflict him, or no harm will afflict him. Now wait a minute. If the date hadith was intended to be an immunization, a physical or chemical immunization, then how comes we find similar or even more generic types of terminology used in other hadith? If you think about this, this cannot mean it's a physical thing, because this is a supplication which doesn't necessitate any consumption of anything physical at all. So this hadith of the dates From that perspective, it follows that it wouldn't be because of the properties of the date, but it's because of the ibadah or the worship of doing it.
Can you believe it? People, can you believe it? This is because they worship. If this is because they worship, okay, we will go with you. So if you worship, you will not die by poison. He's trying now to fix it. And if this is because they worship, what does this have to do with the ajwa then? If this is by blessing of Allah, what does this have to do with the ajwa? And not only that, just to show you how those Abduls are very poor in knowledge, and they are just a bunch of kids trying to duct tape the stupidity of their prophet. He said that this is have nothing to do with the date itself. It's about the supplication to Allah. You pray to Allah. The hadith never mentioned supplication. The hadith mentioned ajwa, and not only that, he mentioned which ajwa. Let us go and see the hadith. Mimi Hijab, I will make your butt red for the coming century today. Now your duty, guys, is to copy the video, and when you download it, please cut it pieces, piece by piece, based on the topic, one by one. Don't make it so long. Here, read carefully. This is the hadith. He who has a morning meal, so there is a morning and it's a meal. Where is the blessing? Nothing will hurt him, neither poison, neither magic. What does this have to do with blessing? If you are blessed, the Muslim, they pray early in the morning, so you do not need ajwa. So what the ajwa present? The blessing of Allah? As you see, nothing here about supplication or prayer. And not only that, Muhammad, he mentioned how many ajwa you have to eat. If you eat 6, it will not work. If you eat 5, it's not going to work. If you eat 7, that will protect you from magic, not only poison. There's a hadith I'm trying to find where Muhammad, he mentioned that this is from a specific date. Let me see if I can find it. I could not find it in this website. Let us see. Because he mentioned that if you eat from the date of the city of Medina, where we can find this hadith? Hold on, because I remember it very well. And now the Muslims, they are I cannot find it in this website. But anyway, what kind of excuse that this is a blessing from Allah? Same time, I will go with Mimi Hijab. He mentioned it's not have nothing to do with the structures of the date. So it's not the date is going to make the ajwa special. What is going to make the ajwa special is the blessing of Allah. I want to hear that again so we can laugh more. Which one it was? Let us see the ajwa, the ajwa. Ajwa. Here we go. 5422. It is number 22 in the video.
Today, inshallah, we're going to be talking about a hadith which is all over the anti-Islamic apologetics type websites, and it's in their publications and their videos online, which is a hadith which says that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man tasabbaha bisab'a tamarat ajwa la yadurruhu summun wala sihr." Whoever wakes up and consumes 7 dates of ajwa kind, that poison will not afflict him, and sihr, which is magic, will not afflict him. And they say this is an unscientific type of hadith, because they say, how could it be the case when the chemical agents or properties within the dates, there's nothing within them that would indicate to us from a scientific perspective that they could be immunizing to things as chemically destructive as poison. So how can you understand this hadith, and doesn't this hadith fly in the face of 21st century scientific discovery? Now first, in order to answer this question, let's take a look at what some of the commentators of this hadith of all time have mentioned. So for example, Al-Khattabi, who is a scholar of the 4th century, died 3.
Remember, when he mentions something, he just mentioned a name, but he don't tell you the name of the book. He don't mention the page. So if we go, we will see what he's talking about. And I'm assuming that if I go and look for this guy, but I don't remember this guy Al-Khattabi is making something, but he is saying Al-Khattabi says that. Okay, where we can find Al-Khattabi? And who is this guy Al-Khattabi? So now he is supporting himself by clear evidence. Al-Khattabi said. Who is Al-Khattabi? Shouldn't you tell people who is Al-Khattabi? Let us say you are a person of knowledge. And now a person, you are claiming that those people, they are not doing their homework. They are not doing academic study. Is that how academic study is done? You say Al-Khattabi and that's it? Who is Al-Khattabi? What's the name of the book? Which page? Which volume? And what he said, show us on the screen. Same time, why you want to take what he say? What is his authority? And now look what you did. What you just did is very embarrassing. It is not the date will protect you. What is going to protect you? Listen carefully.
388 AH. He says actually it's not because of a specific property within the dates. He says there's nothing within the date that actually has that immunizing capacity. He says لا لخاصية في التمر. It's not because of a specific characteristic or attribute in the day. وإنما is because of the da'wah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or the blessings of the da'wah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And many of the scholars have looked at this hadith in this kind of way. Ibn al-Qayyim said no, it's for a special time and a special place, and it's not applicable to us.
Special time, special place, it doesn't work with us. Okay, special time, that is the time of Muhammad. But if we go, we will find that Muhammad was poisoned, and he died by poison, and he was bewitched. Listen carefully, brother. Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, that work only for a specific time and a specific place. Ajwa have to do with a specific time and a specific place. But the person who come with the advice himself, he was bewitched by magic, according to Muhammadan, to the point he is illusional. He don't know what he is doing, including his sex was fake. And he himself, he died literally by poison. So Ibn al-Qayyim, he said, it is only for a certain time, certain place. Is Muhammad included in the place and the time? If there is anyone in Islam is more blessed than Muhammad, is he himself the one who is giving you advice? He is not included in the advice. Do you see how stupid they are when they try to duct tape the stupidity of Muhammad? The one who is advising you to eat ajwa, He mentioned that there are 7. He did not mention that this is only for certain time, certain place. So where you are getting this from? All of this is a solution for the stupidity. They notice the names of those who they are mentioning to you. Those are not really early scholars. Those are late scholars who they are trying to defend Islam in front of the Christians. So now, Muhammad, he said something proven to be false. How we are going to fight it back? We say it was a blessing. Only at that time, only in that place, only at that location. But even that will not help them, because it was the bad luck of Muhammad that he had both. He died by poison like a rat, and he was bewitched by black magic. So if that is about a blessing, as Mimi Hijab, he said, obviously Muhammad is not blessed. Do we agree, people? If this is a blessing, if this is the supplication of Muhammad making supplication supposedly, but nowhere in the hadith he is making supplication. He said whoever. You see, the hadith says whoever, not some. He did not even say a Muslim or a Christian. Let me find you the hadith and put it in the front of you on the screen. Whoever. I mean, the stupidity is beyond the stupidity. Did he say Muslims? Did he say Christians? Did he say the blessed one? Did he say gender? No. He says, he who eat. He who, whatever he is. He who eats. Not he who I pray for. He who eat 7 ajwa date every morning. What does have to do with location and specific people and specific time? He who eats. It doesn't matter who is he. He who has a morning meal of 7 ajwa. He. Do you see anywhere it says the Prophet, he prayed to Allah and says, like, let them not to happen to them? The Prophet said, if somebody, anybody, takes some ajwa, date every morning, he will not be afflicted by poison or magic. Do you see how the Muhammadan desperately trying to defend the duct tape prophet? Walmart is out of duct tape because of Islam. If somebody takes 7 ajwa, if somebody, not even a believer, suddenly it's about supplication, it's about a blessing from Allah, it's only certain time, certain people, blah, 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 blah. What the heck is that? When I was with the Prophet come to visit me, and putting his hand between my nipples, I hope my dad will forgive me for not accepting to go to medical school. You know, he wanted me to be a doctor. I said no. I don't want to do what the Prophet. What he did to you? He put his hands between your nipples. Oh, okay. And I felt its coolness on my heart. He said, you are suffering from a heart disease. Look, what the heck? Muhammad, he put his hand between the nipples. I mean, is the heart in the middle of the chest? That's deep. So he put his hand between my nipples and I felt the coolness, and he said to me, you are suffering from heart disease. Go to Al-Harith Bil Kalada, who belonged to Taif. He is practicing medicine and get him to take 7 ajwa. I cannot be. Sorry, I have to mute the microphone. I could not breathe. Oh boy. So the guy, he have heart problem. We give him 7 ajwa. And how the prophet, he discovered that the guy, he have a heart problem. Oh boy. And then, brother, and bound them together with their stones and administer them to you. It's okay, brother. This was for that time. Now it doesn't work for heart problems. So at that time, if somebody have a heart problem, and how the prophet, he discovered that the guy have a heart problem, he put his hand between his nipples. I hope doctors will not do that to women when you go to the hospital. Here there's different story. But this is not really what we want now. Let us see. Yeah, this is, we are out of the ajwa stories. And the poor Mimi hijab, brothers and sisters. Yes, a scholar, they say, this is not about the date. The date is not really, does not have any. Yes, we have to agree. The date is not really, scientifically, this is not accurate. So obviously the prophet never meant that. The prophet, he was talking about something totally else. Totally else, brother. It was about specific time, specific location, and blessing. And then we find that Muhammad himself, he died because of a poison. And Muhammad himself, he cannot even differentiate between real sex and fake sex. To the point he imagined himself having sexual intercourse with his wives. But in fact, he did not do it. As you see in Sahih al-Bukhari, Aisha, she said, look at the title of this chapter, brother. The manner of adab. The prophet continued for such and such period, imagining that he had sexual intercourse with his wife. In fact, he did not. But remember, this is the effect of the ajwa is because of the blessing. So are you saying to me, Mimi Hijab, that your prophet have no blessing? This is why the 7 ajwa did not work with him. It worked only with those who have a blessing. Is that why he died because of poison? Is that because he have no blessing? I don't want to forget your prophet. He says, I feel now that the poison I ate is getting my aorta, which is mentioned in the Quran, that if Muhammad fabricating Quran, Allah will cut his artery. Oh boy. Muslims, who of you will dare to download my video, put it in your channel, give it to you, Mimi Hijab, and let us see what he will do, and ask him for the sake of the shin of Allah. Are you stupid or what? Are you trying to fix it now? So the prophet, he mentioned 7 ajwa because it is there is a blessing, and this is what will protect you. And then Muhammad, he died by poison, and he was infected by magic. True story.